Hey guys, and welcome to my stimulus package update and stimulus check update. Wow, I haven't said those words in so long. I want you guys to know that I missed you more than you missed me, and I'm happy I'm back here for you with another video just to give you my perspective on everything that's been going on.
You know, we're dealing with the pandemic, we're dealing with inflation, we're trying to come out of this economic recession, we're dealing with inflation and wage growth, and the problem is that the cost of living adjustment, Social Security, and people are struggling. Just so many people are struggling right now economically. Here's what Senator Bernie Sanders had to say. Check this out.
Today, nearly 40 million Americans live in poverty, and tonight, almost 600,000 people will be sleeping out on the streets or in homeless shelters. They have no apartments, no places in which to live. And here's an important fact to remember. In our country today, the average worker is making $42 a week less than he or she made 49 years ago. In other words, when you try to appreciate the anger that exists in this country, the discontent, it has a lot to do with the fact that the average American worker is worse off in terms of real inflation, weekly income, than was the case 49 years ago. And think about that. Think about how crazy that is. Think about all of the increase in technology and productivity that we have seen, where workers today are producing a lot more than they used to because of the new technology, and yet, because of a huge transfer of wealth and income, they are worse off than they were in 1973. Half of the people in our country today are living paycheck to paycheck, and tens of millions are an accident, a divorce, an illness, or a layoff away from economic devastation. In America today, we remain the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care as a right. And the result of that is we have a system in which over 80 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured, and tens of thousands die each and every year because they don't get to a doctor when they should. While many public schools throughout our country lack the resources to adequately educate our young people or pay their teachers the wages those teachers deserve, at the same time, we are the most heavily incarcerated nation on earth. We've got more people in jail than any other country. Meanwhile, 45 million Americans who did go to college, they saved up, they went to college, they are now drowning in $1.8 trillion in student debt. And I talk to those nurses and workers every day who say, Bernie, we've got to do something, because every month I'm paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars in student debt. And here is something else that we don't talk about. You know, we have a habit here, I'm afraid, in the Senate and the House, we talk about a lot, but often not the most important things in the country. And that is that I suspect that as part of human nature, every person in America and around the world would like to live long and happy and productive lives. It's pretty basic human nature. But in America today, the very richest people live, on average, 15 years longer than the poorest Americans. So when you talk about income and wealth and equality, it's not just like, oh, this guy has a nice house, this person doesn't have a nice house, big car, no car. That's one thing. If you are poor in America, you are dying at a significantly younger age than if you are wealthy. Madam President, the polls seem to show that more and more Americans are giving up on democracy. They work long hours for low wages. They worry about their kids. They can't afford healthcare. They see their jobs going to other countries. And meanwhile, the people on top are doing better than any time in American history, and they wonder, hey, we elect these guys to the House, to the Senate, governors. What are they doing for us? Do they understand? Do they live in the real world? Do they understand what is going on in our lives? Or are they too busy going out raising campaign contributions from the rich and the powerful? I believe, Madam President, that the time is long overdue for the Congress to start addressing the needs of the American people. And I know it is a radical idea to suggest that maybe, just maybe, we should do what the American people want and not what wealthy campaign contributors want. When 83% of the American people want us to lower the cost of prescription drugs, you know what? Might be time for the Senate to do that. When 84% of the American people know there is something wrong with elderly people, can't afford dental care, hearing aids, or eyeglasses, 84%, maybe, just maybe, we may want to expand Medicare to cover those basic health care needs. When overwhelming numbers of the American people know that it is beyond absurd that some billionaires in large profitable corporations don't pay a nickel in federal income tax, maybe, just maybe, we might want to change our tax system so that the rich and the powerful start paying their fair share of taxes. When 76% of the American people understand that our home health care system is a disaster, that many elderly people and disabled people would rather stay home rather than be forced into a nursing home, maybe we should expand home health care. When we remain the only major country on earth not to have paid family and medical leave, the only major country on earth, maybe it's time that the Congress passed Paid Family and Medical Leave Act. When we have a dysfunctional child care system in which in my state, not different around the country, working parents are paying 25%, 30% of their income for child care so they can go to work, maybe we should reform our child care and pre-K system so that it is affordable to all parents in this country. And maybe, I know this is another radical idea, piece in the paper today about the impact of climate change. Sea level is going to rise by a foot in the next few decades. We're looking at drought, floods, extreme weather disturbance. Here's a really radical idea, Madam President. Maybe at a time when the scientists tell us that it is questionable in terms of the kind of planet we're going to leave our kids and future generations, whether or not it is going to be habitable or livable. I know it's a radical idea. A lot of fossil fuel money coming into this place. But maybe, just maybe, we stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them their short-term profits are not more important than the future of this planet. So, Madam President, we have a lot of work to do. I'm not sure that we will do it. I'm not sure that members of Congress have the willingness or the courage to stand up to the powerful special interests who control the economic and political life of this country. But this I will say, if we do not do that, in terms of the economy, in terms of climate, in terms of healthcare, in terms of education, future generations will look back at this Congress and say, where were you? Thank you, Madam President.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on what Senator Bernie Sanders has to say. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. All right, next up, stimulus update. One state, I got a couple more here too for you as well right after this. One state is stepping up with stimulus funds for these three groups here. This just came up here yesterday as part of our daily research, which is, the article came out yesterday, but we just found it here today. Here are the three groups. If you're a member of one of these three groups, you may be in for state-funded assistance. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has been in office for less than 6 months, but the state's former lieutenant governor has hit the ground running. In lieu of, quote, thoughts and prayers, she's instead sending out money to groups of people. Number one, to multi-generational households. In April, ODTA will issue a one-time stimulus payment, $730 payment to any households that fit the following criteria. Enrolled in SNAP or public assistance, has one household resident that must be 55 or older, and a child that must be 17 or younger. I believe you have to have both. So this will be a one-time $730 stimulus payment. For 26,000 families are expected to receive this additional assistance. I don't even know what you call this. I guess a multi-generational household payment. $730 in New York. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, families with young children. ODTA will also issue a one-time payment to families who receive SNAP benefits and have a child under age. Okay, that's all the information that's here. Families, number three, families will receive $140 to help offset the cost of diapers. The state expects this program to help 150,000 children statewide. If you fall into any of these categories, Google these programs and you'll probably find more information on these. Number three, domestic violence survivors. The governor's office says that this has risen by 45%, and they plan to provide $21.4 million to these providers. This fund is earmarked to help survivors cover the expense of relocation, including rent, utilities, and repairs needed for their new homes. All payments will be issued to the recipient's electronic benefit transfers account. There are other initiatives in New York as well. Here's a sample of other newly launched initiatives. $10 billion to rebuild and grow the healthcare workforce by 20%. Tax relief for thousands of small businesses and millions of middle-class New Yorkers. Overhaul workforce development to expand access to new careers. Billion-dollar rescue for small businesses. $1 billion in Connect All, a plan to bring affordable broadband to more than 1 million residents across the state. Increase access to childcare for 100,000 families. $75 million towards wages for childcare workers. Yeah, this is just one particular state that I happened to come across here in an article. Yeah, here's the next one. Coronavirus stimulus checks from Utah for Salt Lake County gets more funds to offer rent relief. In addition to stimulus checks, rent assistance proved to be a lifeline for many who are struggling to pay their rent due to financial hardships they face as a result of the pandemic. Although most rental assistance programs have gotten exhausted by now, Utah received fresh federal funding to hand out more stimulus checks to their residents. In fact, I just did a recent video. There's a lot of states getting a second round of this funding. I'll link you to that video here in just a moment. You definitely need to watch that here. Rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. A lot of this money you can claim. Okay, and I show you how to do that. These coronavirus stimulus checks and rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance are for residents of Salt Lake County, Utah. But remember, this is going on all across the country. This is just one particular article from entrepreneur.com, just happens to focus on Salt Lake County, Utah. So yeah, literally, there's still these type of programs going on all across the country. New money is coming in, a new round of money for rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. and possibly all sorts of other things here, because President Biden just declared the pandemic is still going on. It would have ended on March 1st had he not extended it, and he extended it. So we're going to probably be seeing more funding like this here, and I will keep you up to date here. We also have a lot of states that have billions of dollars here. Remember that each state got over at least $1 billion or more, depending on their size. Any state that has even low to medium size or large size population got multiple billions of dollars. And then a lot of states have billions of dollars from their own sets of money flush with cash. So there's going to be a lot of stimulus check programs on the state level as well, and stimulus checks and stimulus other type of like miscellaneous stimulus type programs, even like extra SNAP benefits, food assistance benefits, rent assistance, utilities, all sorts of different type of programs here.
Alright guys, this is all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really missed you. Hopefully I'll see you here again very soon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about here in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos for you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.